Welcome back to some Kingdom Hearts. Now, have some of you ever wondered what the Chamber of Repose actually is? So far, we've only had this cutscene where we saw Xemnas walking in circles and going deep underground. At a point, he enters this room where we see Aqua's armor, and we see Xemnas sitting down and talking to it. Now, during that scene, we believe that Xemnas is trying to regain some memories. Who knows, maybe that was Terra talking during the cutscene. Now, why am I saying Terra? Well, Xemnas is Terranort's nobody, and we know that Terranort is Xehanort fused with Terra. But anyways, let's not get too much into that. Right before Xemnas entered the room, he walked through this large hallway, and we see these bunch of jail cells, which probably means something. I mean, they didn't just put them in for decoration. But these doors bring me to the Emblem Heartless. Now, what are Emblem Heartless to be more precise? Emblem Heartless are creatures that are created artificially by making one's heart come into contact with the darkness. Now, why am I saying this? Well, there was this cutscene in Kingdom Hearts 1 where we had this civilian running away, his heart got extracted and darkness took over his heart, and he turned into an Emblem Heartless. How did these Emblem Heartless start roaming the streets? In Birth by Sleep, Ansem the Wise found Terranort in Radiant Garden. Eventually, Terranort turned into his apprentice, and the time came where they all started studying the heart. But at a point, Terranort was getting way too involved with people's hearts. He was starting to get way too involved without Ansem's consent. And since there was a disagreement, Ansem the Wise was sent to the Realm of Darkness. And Terranort, well, Xehanort, took the name Ansem. Okay, since they were studying people's hearts, how exactly did they accomplish that? They need someone's heart to study the heart, it's as simple as that. However, how did they convince those people to be part of the experiment? Did they maybe abduct them? Maybe that could explain the jail cells at the bottom of Radiant Garden. I mean, did they force those people to be part of the experiment? Judging by the jail cells, them abducting people and locking them up, that's what probably happened. I always wonder, why was Terranort so interested with people's hearts? I mean, what was he gonna accomplish? Unless Xehanort regained his memories without anyone knowing. Maybe he was pretending to be an apprentice, but this whole time he was probably Xehanort. The thing is, do we actually know when Xehanort regained his memories? Okay, we got this cutscene in Dream Drop Distance where we had Xehanort using his Keyblade to release hearts and create Organization 13. Well, the start of Organization 13, I mean. But what if he regained his memories way before that? Now that's an interesting question, we don't really know. Or maybe he did regain his memories during that cutscene, or around that time. Why do I say this? Well, let's go over Ansem's report number 3. The shadows that crawl beneath the castle, are they the people who lost their hearts or incarnations of darkness, or something entirely beyond my imagination? All my knowledge has provided no answer. One thing I'm sure of is that they are entirely devoid of emotion. Perhaps further study will unlock the mysteries of the heart. Fortunately, there's no shortage of test samples. They are multiplying underground even as I write this report. They still need a name, those who lack hearts. I will call them the Heartless. Okay, the shadows that crawl beneath the castle. He basically meant the shadow Heartless that he just discovered. And how exactly did he produce that? Well, according to his experiments, he had to extract the darkness from a person's heart, cultivate the darkness in a pure heart, both suppress and amplify the darkness within. So basically, by extracting one's heart and making it come into contact with darkness, you produce a shadow Heartless, a pureblood Heartless. And what he said is pretty much true. Look at Sora sacrificing himself in Kingdom Hearts 1. When he did that, he turned into a shadow Heartless. Darkness had taken over his heart. After reading Ansem's report number 3, it seems like Xehanort hadn't regained his memories at that time. He had no idea about the Heartless. Well, he actually gave the name Heartless to those creatures. Xehanort already knew about the Heartless in Birth by Sleep. Since he didn't know about the Heartless during his time in Radiant Garden, then that means he hadn't gained his memories at that time. Since Xehanort was able to summon them in Birth by Sleep, I'm gonna say that he actually knew about the Heartless, that the Heartless took over people's hearts. So in the end, Xehanort did not regain his memories during report number 3. Now after reading all of his reports, it seems like he didn't regain his memories until report number 10. And here's why. In report number 9, it is mentioned that he met King Mickey and he was fascinated by the Keyblade. If he had no idea about the Keyblade, then that means he still didn't have his memories. In report number 10, he wanted to study the worlds and the princesses of heart. This is what was mentioned in Ansem's report number 10. The last sentence. My path is set. I shall seek out the wielder of the Keyblade and the princesses. My body is too frail for such a journey, but I must do this. I will cast it off and plunge into the depths of darkness. So that's when Xehanort regained his memories and extracted his heart to turn into a Heartless and a nobody. During that time, he also extracted the hearts of Dylan, Evan, Alice, and Lenzo, which in the end all got themselves nobodies and created Organization 13. Since their hearts were extracted, I'm gonna assume that their Heartless were Pureblood Heartless. They were never shown, but I'm gonna assume Sora probably just defeated them at one point. Okay, now by beneath the castle, I think he meant the Chamber of Repose, well, the hallway I mean. Now here's the question though. How was he able to extract the darkness from people's hearts? So far, the only way to do that is by using a Keyblade. Remember in Birth by Sleep when Xehanort used the Keyblade to extract the darkness from Ventus's heart to create Vanitas? Yep. Plus, he came up with a device which created Artificial Heartless. To do that, don't you need darkness? How did he find that darkness? How was he able to collect it? Did he summon his Keyblade way before the cutscene we saw in Dream Drop Distance? We don't really know, but in report number 9, he mentioned that he was fascinated by the Keyblade, meaning he had no idea about the Keyblade. But what if he was simply pretending that he had amnesia this whole time? What do you guys think? Was this all part of his plan? Okay, to re-summarize everything that I've mentioned. They abducted people, locked them up, studied them, and extracted the darkness from their hearts. They extracted the darkness from their heart one way or another. Now the thing is, since Xehanort extracted the darkness from Ventus's heart using his Keyblade, this is where things kind of get confusing. How did he exactly extract the darkness from people's hearts? We're not too sure. But later on he came up with a machine which basically created Artificial Heartless. And if we compare him to normal Shadow Heartless, they have an emblem on them. Here's one thing I can come up with. Okay, now since Xehanort extracted his own heart using his Keyblade, how come his Heartless has an emblem? When your heart is extracted using a Keyblade, shouldn't your Heartless be a pure blood? Well, here's the thing. I'm going to assume that Xehanort's Heartless in the beginning was a pure blood form. He was wearing a robe. Now in Dream Drop Distance, it was explained that he time traveled. In order to time travel, you have to sacrifice your body. No one knows what his body actually looked like. He was probably a Shadow Heartless, just like I mentioned right now. Since he took over Riku's body in Kingdom Hearts 1, his heart basically got into contact with Riku's darkness. And that's how you create an emblem Heartless, by applying darkness to one's heart. A pure blood Heartless is usually born from the darkness within people's hearts. When darkness from another source comes into contact with one's heart, you create an emblem Heartless. That's exactly what Terranort did during his experiments. In order to know which one's which, Xehanort put an emblem on the Heartless he created, which were born from other people's darkness. And in the end, the emblem Heartless spread across all worlds, going after everyone's heart. Okay, one last thing guys, just for fun, alright? I took the time to count the doors in the hallway in the Chamber of Repose, and you know what's funny? I actually counted 20 doors. Now what does 20 mean in the Kingdom Hearts series? Doesn't 13 lights plus 7 darknesses equal 20? Now I might be overthinking too much, but what if Xehanort regained his memories pretty early on and decided to forge the Keyblade secretly by abducting people and studying their hearts? Xehanort always has a plan B. If something doesn't work out, then he'll use something else. For example, we had Organization 13 in Kingdom Hearts 2. According to the time travel theory in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, Xehanort was just testing the members to see who's worthy enough to join the actual Organization 13 we saw in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Well, now we call the new Organization 13 the 13 Seekers of Darkness. Not only did Xehanort create an Organization 13 in Kingdom Hearts 2, but in Kingdom Hearts 1, he wanted Maleficent to gather all the Princesses of Heart. The 7 Princesses of Light. The 7 pieces of light of the Keyblade that shattered in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Well, the Keyblade in Birth by Sleep was a failure, so Xehanort is trying to come up with plan B, to make a Keyblade that is stable. Since we have 20 doors deep within Radiant Garden, what if Xehanort regained his memories and was trying to create the Keyblade? Again, now nothing was mentioned in the reports, but what if he was pretending to have amnesia this whole time? I mean, it's Xehanort we're talking about. By abducting 20 people, he would try to extract 7 lights and 13 darknesses. Okay, this pretty much sounds far-fetched, but it's just for fun, like I mentioned. So yup, this is pretty much it for the video guys. If you have any thoughts or concerns, just leave them in the comments. And as usual, I've been Vivi and I'll catch you awesome guys next time. Thanks for watching.